What happens in Vegas doesn't stay in Vegas once the I-Team finds out. And tonight, we have a story of some old-time Chicago mobsters who are running a new con in Las Vegas. They actually call it the Mob Con.
And ABC 7 investigative reporter Chuck Out is joining us with what this is all about, Chuck.
Alan, Kathy, during the golden era of Las Vegas, the Chicago mob was in charge, the late 1950s through the early 80s, when Chicago outfit bosses gathered for a conclave. It was in a Vegas private room away from the prying eyes of federal agents. But this weekend, some of the biggest mob names from Chicago convened something called MobCon. Not only was it in public, it was for the public, and the reformed gangsters charged admission to get in.
This town was built by the mob.
Robert Allen may be a promoter, but he speaks the truth about Vegas having been built by the mob. From Bugsy Siegel to Tony Spilotro. When Las Vegas was mobbed up, it was the Chicago outfit that was calling the shots. And doing the shooting, in some cases, was this man, Frank Collada, an admitted Chicago hitman turned informant, turned witness, and now turned mob con organizer and pitchman.
Actually moved down here in 1978. I was sent down here to be the underboss for Tony Spilotro. And Tony was mostly in charge of this town. Everybody knows that name, so I don't need to explain who he was. And I took over the street crime, and I did a little work, and I did some work in the casinos, catching thieves and stuff, you know. If need be, break their legs or arms or whatever.
Collada has been honing his Chicago tough guy talk for several years and finally decided to take it on the road. Last weekend's Las Vegas MobCon featured more than a dozen speakers, from former outfit investigators and federal agents to Frank Calabrese Jr. and other once notorious hoodlums who have gone straight and are now trying to peddle their past. With at-the-door tickets going for $230 per person, MobCon is something they would like to take on the road.
We'd like to take it to Chicago, the mob cities, you know, like Chicago, New York, Kansas City. But again, that remains to be seen. We'll see what happens.
They might have a difficult time opening that attraction here in Chicago. The city has always frowned upon mob tributes and any public celebration of Chicago's gangland past. The first Mayor Daley ordered most outfit landmarks torn down in the 60s and 70s so they wouldn't become mob shrines. With those ticket prices anyway, you'd have to take out a juice loan to afford to go.
You might be able to, right? Okay, Chuck.
Thanks, Chuck.